Oh, hello. Can I do something about this lighting situation? This lighting is terrible. Is that better? That's a little better. What about this? Is this better? Can I do this? Oh, that is so much better. Turn off that. That is so much better. Dang, Mark changed his Instagram. Gotta have background music. I mean, if you're gonna do an IG Live, you gotta have some sort of groovy background music, yeah? Greetings, everyone. Welcome to the shit show. Just call it like it is at this point. Oh, Steve QB is live too. I feel like a jerk for being live when he's live. I feel like that's just mean. Oh, that's loud. That is so loud. Hello. Hello. Oh, this is crooked. Can I fix that in? We're working on it like it's getting there. We're figuring this out. Bro, everyone in the DMs right now. What's that? What's that? What's that? Rubio, I'm reading your message right now. No, you're good, Rubio. So, this is actually for the... More dudes are having money tournaments now, and I really like that. Now that there's at least 6 people in here. I'm not going to be so bold as to say that I was like the moving factor in cash, because that's not true, because there's been dudes before that. This could be the Russian stream. I mean, if you want it to be a Russian stream... We can do Russian. We can do the Russian stream. I can do that all day. But I like that more fields, and it seems like they're in-house, are doing their own organic tournaments. And for actual legitimate prizes. Like, dude, Nashville, I was super happy to see that Nashville was starting to do one. And because what's their prize for that one? Let me look at the prize money up. Because I think Nashville, their first prize was... What was their first place? Like $200, I think, for a 5-man. Let's read this. Cash prize, $500. They don't really have any details on it, but their cash prize is $500 for first, $250 for second, and $125 for third, which is already smashing what other tournaments are doing. Because I think one of the narratives that we're going to see this year is more and more tournaments. I'm going to look up Nashville Airsoft's website. More and more fields are going to do their own organic tournaments, and I think the narrative we're going to see for the next couple of years is they're going to depend less on outside entities or outside tournament promoters, because they've seen, this is kind of where Speed QB, Syndicate, who else is doing stuff? This is where, like, if you're just doing tournaments, it's a double-edged sword. Because let's say you have like Speed QB or Syndicate. Let's take Syndicate for example. If I'm CQB City and I see Syndicate gets all these, this huge turnout, because what was the Syndicate last tournament, like 10, 12, like it was a good turnout. So let's say I'm CQB City. Why do I keep having Syndicate back? If I'm Nashville and I've been doing Speed QB events for years, why do I need to have Speed QB back? Because if you're a field and you bring someone in to conduct a tournament at your field, you're not getting all the profits. You're sharing. Usually, sometimes it's a percentage, sometimes there's a flat rate. I've done business with some formats that do percentages, so you just like it's a split take. I've done business with some companies where it's a flat fee, or there's something in between. Like it's this up front, but you get this back, like different ROI structures and stuff like that. Point being, if you don't have a field and you're in the tournament business, you're kind of a double-edged sword, because you look at, I'm trying to find it. Look at Nashville, for instance. They do speak, Nashville goes hard for these kids a lot of times. So at some point, you're going to ask yourself, like, I just had a money tournament for 500, what was it, 500, 250, and 125, and I had a huge turnout, and I kept all the profits. Why do I need these outside tournament venues? Like, what are they going to give me that I can't do internally? Granted, within that argument, there's kind of like this, there's also like a little bit of marketing in there and a little bit of community resources and stuff like that. But if you're someone like Nashville, and if this cash prize is successful, why would you bring someone else in? Depends on what you want to do, obviously. So I think no matter what, formats like your CSLs, right? And everyone knows how hard in the paint I go for CSL. So CSL, like Syndicate, like Speed QB, like all these other formats that are trying to do their own thing, but they're just trying to bring a service to a field. At what point do you look at what you're doing and go, oh, I got to up my game? Because these fields I'm going to are already having successful in-house tournaments. They're able to do the thing I can do without me. Like, oh, crap on a cracker. So how do you navigate? Speed QB is probably the best example right now, because they do events that still have a real good pull in the community. So the Speed QB name still does mean something. So they're not like outdated, like, oh, because more of these fields are doing tournament Speed QB. That's not true. Speed QB will always have its place. But they also do products. Like those mags. Bro, you know how many of those freaking mags I sell? They're belts, they're all the Speed QB products. So when I did 5 belts, the new ones, those 2.0 ones, as a test run. And I believe off the top of my head, they run like $100 or so bucks, give or take in there. I ordered 5 as a test run. I think we sold 3. I'm gonna look at my sales figures right now. I think we sold 3 like that weekend. No, not last month. Let me see. This month, item sales, collapse. How many Speed QB belts did we sell? Yeah, so in one weekend, I sold 2 brand new belt systems. And 3 of their the 3 of those new chest dealies they got coming out with. Plus I sold their bunch of their new mags, their new color mags, bunch of dump pouches. So the Speed QB will always have a face or a presence. But what interests me, as an airsoft nerd, as a Speed QB homie, and as a field manager, is as fields start to be more tournament friendly and have their own in-house events, how do you, as a known tournament format, how do you keep up with that demand? Or how do you keep up with that? Like, what's your response? So Speed QB, their response has been like those new Tracer collabs that they've been doing. What are they? Those are they the Brighters? Let me look those up. I want to say those are the Brighter Tracer unit, Brighter C's. but you start to see Speed QB being more involved in products and retail. In less, I don't want to say less events, because it's hard. I don't like the narrative that Speed QB is becoming more of a retailer than a tournament format, or like player friendly or something. That's hard to say. I understand how you could make that. Yeah, they're Ace Tech Mark 1 tracer units. They look like the brighter units to me. Anyway, it's a hard narrative to completely sell, because you have to look at where we've been as a business world for the last 2 years. Pandemic. So since Speed QB deals with a lot of indoor facilities, I'm assuming not a whole lot of airsoft fields were really balling out during the pandemic. So yeah, it's logical that Speed QB and other formats weren't able to do all the events they wanted to do in the years previous. Because you look at pre-pandemic, bro, they were in Europe, they were in Canada, they were on the East Coast, they were in the Midwest, they were on the West. They were doing events everywhere. Monthly? I think they were doing one every month. But then the pandemic hit, and they went, bro, we can't go overseas. We can't leave the country. No, none of these other countries are really having anyone right now. California's kind of a pain in the butt to deal with. They still were able to pull some stuff out. But traveling is a pain in the ass right now. Even now, traveling's still a butt. So I understand how some people would look at Speed QB and go, oh, you guys are just selling stuff, and you guys aren't, for players. Like, whoa, time out. What do we just get? We've been in a pandemic for the last 2 years. So I understand how you could see this, but it's really because of this. So I get that. But they have to sell products to stay afloat. Like, you can't just depend on one thing. You have to diversify what you're giving your customer. You can't just be like, we're Speed QB, or we're Syndicate, or we're CSL, and we only do tournaments. Like, that's not gonna last, bro. There have been service-based companies like that have came and gone. You look at MLA is a good example. Because Adam was a heck of a nice guy. Major League Airsoft had a real cool thing going, but that was the only thing he could do, and his revenue stream was entirely dependent upon events. And this was pre-pandemic. If you can't get fields to work with you, or if you can't get fields that are willing to work with you, but not willing to give you the money you want, well, shit, what are you gonna do? So I get it. Probably closer. Business, hang on. So what I like seeing now is other fields like Nashville taking chances and innovating. And in airsoft, something as simple as a cash prize tournament, to me, is innovating, because you can't say, name 5 fields that are doing cash prizes. Bro, name 3. Exclude my field, exclude Nashville. Name 3 fields that are doing cash prize airsoft tournaments. Go. And that's what I thought. Okay, let's expand it. Name them in anywhere in the world. Look at Europe, look at Canada, look at South America. No one's doing cash prize airsoft tournaments. No one. To me, personal opinion, fields doing cash prizes, unless there's like a shady thing about it, unless like it's a cash prize, and by cash prize we mean store credit, like, get fucked, kind of. Anyone, yeah, Long Island field ain't doing nothing. Bro, no one does this in airsoft. It's not a thing in airsoft yet, because again, the basis of most of my arguments, look at the people that are running the fields. They're old as shit, and they usually don't have a business background. So they only do the same song and dance every weekend with the birthdays. They only do casual play shit. They don't want to get down on tournaments because that takes a lot of work. You can't just hold a tournament and expect a turnout. That's not how that works, bro. You have to have the community behind you. Because if you're a whack-ass field and you put on a tournament, not a lot of dudes are going to show up to that. Or if they do, they're going to be like, yeah, let's see how it goes. And then it goes to shit, and then that's it. You have to have the community behind you to pull off a tournament. And by pull it off, I don't mean just monetarily. I mean get the players, people are excited, people are talking about it, dudes are stoked, they're asking questions, they're DMing you questions. If you could get the players excited, that's a good sign. You don't see that in so many fields. You barely see fields holding tournaments, period. You don't really see them. So let's say, off the top of my head, let's say, for instance, in the U.S., in the continental U.S., right? You have maybe 10 fields, let's say for sake of example, 10 fields in the entire continental United States that will do airsoft tournaments. Half those fields probably suck at them because they don't give a shit. You can see that in their execution. So if, let's say out of 10, let's say 5 just sort of throw them together and they just go super cheap, and it's a clear, it's a $40 3-player TDM, and you get there and it's double the field fee, or it's, field fee plus 3 or whatever, but it's way more than the field fee. The field isn't sectioned off, they don't know what they're doing, they're half-assing a tournament. 5 out of 10, I'm telling you, 5 are going to do that. Then you look at the 5 that aren't doing that. Out of 3 of those 5 left, they're probably going to put on a C average level tournament, which is the most you're going to get, meaning it's a decent field. It's maybe not big, but it's a nice vibe of a field. It's going to be a reasonable fee. Maybe you're just getting some dinky trophies, which kids don't really care about. Maybe they were able to pair with a team that was willing to not compete for the sake of reffing the event and holding the event. And then 2 of those remaining fields are going to throw down. 2 of those fields are going to be like my field in N1. And what I'm seeing maybe Nashville, where they're willing to do gangster shit. N1 does gangster shit. My field will do gangster shit. Nashville, with his cash tournament, tells me they're going to start doing gangster shit. And for me, you got to remember, you're thinking, if you're watching this live, you're like, how does he come to these? Bro, what I do for a living is look at what other fields are doing all across America. I want to know what D14's doing. I want to know what Airsoft Revolution's doing, other than the fact that Jay Garcia's my homie. I want to know what CQ Bravo is. I want to know what Nashville's doing. I want to know what Power Ops is doing. I want to know what Striker's doing. I want to know what's that field? What's that indoor paintball airsoft field in the Bronx? Area NYC? What are they called? Area 53. I want to look at I look at what every field in the country is doing, plus then I go look at what fields in other countries are doing. I'm a huge fan of Hangar, what's the Hangar 57? Hangar 34? The one on the Canary Islands. I'm a huge fan of theirs. I'm a huge fan of, obviously, Real Strike. I'm obviously going to be a huge fan of them for sure, because I love Bird. But I pay attention to what fields are doing for a living so I can steal their ideas when I like them. Bro, I'm telling you, don't sleep on how many fields I know about. This is what I do for a living. I'm spying on other fields and stealing their ideas straight up. That's what I do. Hi, buddy. So when I look at a field and I see something as simple as Nashville Airsoft posting for a simple cash prize tournament. Not a lot of dudes are going to bat an eye at that because they don't understand the industry. They don't understand how most managers work. They don't understand how impossible it is to find a cash money airsoft tournament. You don't see that. So when I see that, I think, oh, innovation? Oh, shit, yeah. That's the stuff that I look for. That's what I spend most of my time doing, is looking at what these fields are doing. And to me, it represents, who's their sponsor, by the way? Shout out to them. Renovation Specialist LLC. They got so they got a company to fork over $875? Did I just do that math right? $875 that company forked over. Assuming that company, Renovation Specialist, gave all that money to them. I don't know. Maybe they did half of it. Maybe they did all of it. I don't know. It says, special thanks to Renovation LLC for sponsoring this cash prize. I don't know if they gave 100% of that or what, but they got a sponsor to do that. Do you know how fucking hard it is to get a company to sponsor anything in airsoft? Do you know how hard that is to do? You know how hard it is to equate an ROI? You know how hard it is to get noticed as an airsoft field against all these other long-standing business, against sports teams, against roller rinks, movie theaters, shit like that? Do you know how hard that is? I know, because I look at these things for a living. Bro, Nashville did the impossible. They got a non-airsoft company to sponsor a cash tournament. Do you understand what that represents in the industry? That's huge. That's just not a small thing if you're an industry nerd like I am. If you're just some player like, oh, that's cool. Swipe, swipe, swipe. Oh, Nashville has a money tournament. Cool, I'm in California. I can get fucked. Swipe, swipe, swipe. If you're like me and you're a super industry nerd, that's big. That's so big that other fields are doing this. I would love to talk to the guy that runs Nashville Airsoft, not the ref. Like, yeah, refs are cool to talk to. I want to talk to the guy that says, we're going to do a cash money tournament. And just be like, first of all, I love you. Second of all, fuck Miami Airsoft. That's correct. Because I want to know, like, hey, like, what, like, tell me about your thought process from beginning to end. Like, stroke my ego a little and tell me that I'm the reason you're doing this. I know that's not going to happen. Because money prizes, cash money shit in jiu-jitsu or in the fight game is everywhere. Remember back in the day they had that football league that was like, if you did certain things, you won money and all that other crap. You remember? The WWE, or now the WWE, is it XFL? It was on like the NBC network or something for like 5 minutes. But doing athletics for cash is not a foreign concept to the athletic or the business world. It's foreign to the airsoft business world because if you look at how small-scale airsoft fields and airsoft is as a whole throughout the greater American business community, yeah, no one's going to do that. It makes sense. Bro, it's hard. I'm still struggling to find a freaking food truck to come to my field. So when someone does something crazy like this, I get interested. But that's just me. And also, again, to reiterate, Ernesto, fuck Miami Airsoft. That's correct. That's the correct answer. I'm the only one that's just going off on a rant here. I thought they did do airsoft. Maybe, so, and Eric. They advertise and they'll post about it. Area, airsoft. Are they in Bronx or are they in Brooklyn? Or they have there's literally a place called Airsoft Bronx. Okay. Area 53. they had like 3 locations, and one of them, was it Williamsburg? They had, I thought they were doing one of them, I think it was in Williamsburg, or maybe they stopped doing it, I don't know. Because they had like 3 fields. One was in Williamsburg, I want to say one was in Brooklyn, and then they had an outdoor paintball field like by the river. I think it was by like the Hudson. But I mean, it looked, because they were promoting airsoft for, like, on their IG they had airsoft posts and stuff, but they have one IG for like 3 or 4 different fields, so it's kind of hard to keep up with it. But I agree. No, only I am on my left right now. But Area 53, even so, this is the other cool. So another reason that Area 53 interests me. Are all my comments? Yeah, I'm scrolled up to the left. The other cool thing that interests me about Area 53 is you look at what they have, right? They just have a big ass warehouse, but they have like a indoor paintball thing. They have like a rock part. They made it into like a theme park. So they have like that rock climbing, and they have like, it looks like a little bar and like some foosball, but they made it. And their laser tag, bro, this shit looks fun. Now, what that experience is actually like raw, who knows? But one of the reasons so originally I checked out that field because of that fight they had like a year or 2 ago. I think that was pre-pandemic. That is what got me onto that field, because I did a react video to that fight, and then I was actually like scoping out their IG, like, oh, this shit looks pretty fun. And it's further, Area 53 interests me because I assume real estate. I assume their lease is not cheap, bro. Like, if my understanding is that New York is basically priced like San Francisco, which is offensively expensive, and if they're able to do something within city limits that looks this expensive but still this cool and able to maintain it, and they survived the pandemic, salute. I'm gonna keep an eye on what you guys do, because it looked fun as shit, and they're still in business. Bro, if you can survive, if you can sustain your business in the New York City area, Brooklyn, the Bronx, 5 Points, all that, you can sustain in the greater New York City area in a pandemic, you should get, just right off the bat, you should get a bachelor's degree and master's, or a bachelor's degree in business, just by proxy. It's a personal thing. Yo, rent is stupid dumb in New York, because I think it's higher in New York than it is in San Francisco. I think that's correct, because San Francisco is ridiculous. San Fran went down a little because everyone's moving out. But everyone's going back to NYC. Like, all the actors and celebrities are still in NYC, so NYC's fine. Yeah, fields interest me. So I'm curious to see what Syndicate's plan is going forward, because let's take Syndicate for a specific example. Hello. Syndicate charged $200 or $225 for a team of 7. They charge for their subs as well. Fuck me. Hang on. Because they had a post that like broke down their prices. Where is it? Nope. Is this it? Nope. Is this it? That's not it. Yeah, it was $225. Thank you. So it was $225 for a line, plus mandatory $25 for player cards. So that, we break that down. What did homie say? That was like almost $38 per player, plus another 25 for a player card. Okay, that's cool. Let's say you had, a line for 220. Let's say you had to pay $40 a head per person for one event. Okay. Why? Why? Because you can only charge so much for an experience before your guys be like, we did this. Now what? We've been doing this. All you did was raise the price. You didn't offer any prizes. Stat tracking in airsoft, no one gives a shit about. Paintball, they do. Paintball's been established and huge since the 90s. Bro, they featured paint. Fun fact. Here's why I don't give a shit about the paintball argument. Because granted, paintball's been around and paintball's more recognized. But if you look at that Sports Center IG highlight, let me look at that. I saw it the other day. I don't know how old it is. If you go to the Sports Center, there's a reel. I thought it was Sports Center. It was a dude. He was a backfield player. Here it is. Go to Sports Center. It's 2 days ago. Caption: he was going off. It was an NXL back player, and he was just, he was going and dumping in and going and the whole thing. And if you look at the comments, no one gave a shit. Like the most frequent, the narrative behind the comments was, yeah, he didn't hit anything. Way to go. No one cares about paintball. No one cares about airsoft, except the people involved. Hot take. So, when you're charging $200 for a team, or $225 for a team, or whatever, and then you're charging an additional $25, let's factor that out to round it out to $40 even. Okay, what did you change in your product that I'm going to care about? Not that you think that I'm going to care about. What did you change in your product I'm going to care about? Stats? How? A dude with a clipboard manually stat tracking? How's he do you have one per dude? How do you track those stats? I mean, it's cool, it's innovative. No one does that in airsoft, but no one cares about stats. They care about wins and losses as a team. That's it. No one gives a crap about that. The sport of airsoft is not at a point where people give a shit about stats. So when you charge that much money, and the only thing you're changing in your product is stat tracking, and that's it, no one cares. So I'm curious to see specifically how Syndicate is gonna go. I have a theory. Here's my deep state airsoft theory. Oh no! Deep state. Oh no! Deep state airsoft theory almost got ruined. Hang on here. Set up. Don't mind me, kids. I have a deep state airsoft conspiracy theory. Is my phone charged enough? Yeah, I'll just let this chill now. My deep state conspiracy is that City is charging Syndicate a lot. My theory is that City wants 100% field fee, which is $30 field fee, and then they're also charging them for field use. That's a theory that I have. That's a thing that I pulled out of my head. I don't know if that's true or not. That's what I think is happening. Because if I was City, that's what I would do. Okay, you want to do this thing? Cool. I still want 100. I still want my full field fee because they're going to be on my field all day. And then because you're going to want to use my field, I'm going to charge you usage as well. Could be wrong. But my theory is that the field fee, or excuse me, the team registration fee goes to the field, and the only way Syndicate is making any money is off player cards. That's a theory. I hope it's wrong. I hope everyone's getting paid. I hope everyone's able to get a lot of money. But if you look at what Syndicate is charging, versus what they're providing versus how it's different than what they were doing in Fairfield, what did we change? That's tough. Then you look at something like Speed QB. Let's take a look at Speed QB. The biggest name in airsoft tournament, hands down. I welcome any argument that says Speed QB is not the biggest name in competitive airsoft world friggin' wide. A line of 5 for their events is what, $125? $125 for 5. And I think they charge like $20 for a sub, something like that. So where's the difference? This is where it gets interesting. Oh my God, Ricky, stay out of the loop, you bastard. Just stay on your little go-karts because those things look fun as shit. So what's the difference? You look at Speed QB, it's $125 to compete at the highest level we have as an industry worldwide, and they have products, and they have marketing, and they have all these figures. They have an established brand, and it only costs you $125. And they get down with the community. Like, yo, if you don't know, there's a thing that Speed QB's doing that I'm super stoked about, that unfortunately I'm not going to be a part of because I'll be gone that weekend. What's cracking, Poppy? But Speed QB's doing a thing that I'm super excited for. Speed QB does get down with the community. They do. So you take Speed QB, gets down on the community, great products, great influencers, full established brand, costs you half the price of Syndicate. You look at Syndicate, does not do anything for the community, arguably, and just takes money. Granted, because those guys live in LA, so there's no way they could really do a community thing. I feel like that would cost them too much money. But comparatively, this is the unfortunate part about when you're only a tournament format. And it sounds like I'm picking on Syndicate. I'm not picking on Speed QB either. This is just what I see, and I hope these guys make way more money than what they're bringing in. But my whole thing is I'm really curious to see what happens with tournament formats that only stay tournament formats as fields start to do more in-house cool shit tournaments like Nashville's Cash Money event. That's my question. That's my thing. Question, I guess, observation, curiosity, hypothesis, whatever we want to say. Because what's Syndicate's next step? Let's pick on Syndicate for a minute. And I only say Syndicate because they're in my area. I know them. I know what they do. I know their pricing scheme. I know the field owner for City. I know everyone involved in that. I know the intricate details of what's involved, minus the agreement of money. If you're Syndicate, how do you stay relevant going forward? And by relevant, I also mean how do you stay profitable? Because those guys come all the way from SoCal. They don't live in Sacramento. They have to charge so they can make money for travel. Going to give out cash next, from what I heard. That would be the move. That would be the move. But here's what also curious to me. How much are they going to raise? Now, did they raise their fees as a test run to see like how many dudes they could get? Or is their registration fee going to go up again to compensate for the cash prizes? Because if you look at when I do a cash tournament, usually about 3 lines. I ain't playing, bro. No. When am I gonna play? When I'm working a field? I can't work a field and play at the same time. So when I do a cash money tournament, usually I have to know, where's my break-even point? Usually, you're never going to get me in a tournament, bro. Dark side of that in a second. Usually my break-even point is usually about 3 or 4 teams for first prize. So, when I do that cash money tournament, when I did the last Deuces Wild, as long as I had 3 teams sign up, I was good. I wasn't going to make money, but I would at least be able to not lose money. But remember that I'm a field. not only am I a field, I'm a shop. So I can pull from two different pots of money. That's why I can take all these risks with a Milsim day, with a kids day, with all these wild ideas. I have a 10-player tournament format, a Milsim format, coming up soon. And if you've been in my Discord, it's not something new to you, because I wanted to do it in December, but the bomb wasn't here, my bomb prop. Hot take. Here's why you're not going to get me in a tournament. Couple reasons, and they're both shitty, and they're both adult reasons. One, I don't really like playing that much anymore. I fucking don't, bro. Like, it's the same thing over. The only time I like to get out and play, usually, if the occasional vibe hits me, which is very rare, or if it's like a big thing like Desert Fox events, I'm so excited to go to something like that. You have to remember, I live on a speed field. I live on it, basically. It's just not fun for me because it's business. Two, what do I get when I compete? Nothing. Yeah, not a tourney, but I'll go to an op, because an op is so different from what I do day to day. I'm in the professional industry of airsoft. Do you know how much that fucking drains your soul? Do you? Do you? Playing just isn't that fun for me anymore. Even like some ops I don't want to go to. DFE looks cool because it's a Milsim West production, just kind of like a light version of it. But like I don't want to go to like Opie Lion Claws. Nah, I'm good. Fucking good, bro. Conquest of Avalon is gone. I mean, I can make a Speed QB podium. Conquest of Avalon is gone because Soda lost that venue. So I can't go to that anymore. That thing I'd go to in Texas at the Renaissance Festival, that's pulled. That's gone. Unless they change their mind or something dramatic happens or something different happens, I can't go to that anymore. That was my favorite thing in Airsoft all year. I'm looking to go to some Milsim West events, but like all my Midwest and my South homies are like, you should come to AMS. Like, fucking why? It's a pickup game. Look at how like, and then let me check my battery. Look at how much crazy shit I come up with. Look at how inventive I get. Like, bro, I am creating Dungeons and Dragons encounters that tie into my Milsim Day lore, and then I'm gonna tie that lore back into my Milsim days. When you're that creative in the airsoft industry, I have an expectation that if I'm dumb and I can think of this, other dudes should be able to do this high level shit too. There's been two people that really piqued my interest in the airsoft event world. One was Will Sode, other than the fact that he's my homie. Overwatch Tactics and what he was doing with Conquest of Avalon, because it was so vastly different than what anyone else was doing. And Milsim West. And you look at what Josh Warren does. Because it's not a pickup game, it's an experience. I don't give a shit about pickup games. I don't. I need experiences. I want to go, fuck, that was cool. In a 5-on-5 on a speed field, I'm sorry, it just doesn't do it for me anymore as a player. Sometimes, and maybe sometimes I'll get down. Very rare. Where I have to go to Santa Rosa to play. Do you understand what that feels like? Like, you know how shitty that makes me feel? I don't play on my own field. You don't shit where you eat. That's what that means to me. I'm there so much, you burn out so fast as a man. You just burn out. I just don't want to mess with it anymore. I'll jump in and coach. Like I was, when the kids were on the field Sunday, they were just doing the same 5-on-5 shit back and forth. I was like, no, I was making them do 5-on-3s. I was doing known versus unknown positions. I was doing all that shit. They were just doing the same thing over and over and over. That shit's not exciting to me anymore. It gets monotonous. To me, it's like a 9-to-5 job that you get bored with. Like, you have to change it up. But I've been in the Speed QB space since 16. So, hang on. 6 years. 6 years in the Speed QB space. Fuck, I burned out after like 4. I was burned out when I was at ministry. Even before we started True Aim, I was burned out on playing. That's why you don't see me play at my own field. Even on the speed, I've never No, I've never played on that speed field. Spent $8,000 on it. I haven't played on it yet. I don't want to. I just want to make money off of it. It's a shitty thing to say, but it's an honest thing to say. No other fucking manager is going to tell you that. For me to have fun playing, I have to go to Playland 707 where they have no fucking clue who I am. No one. Except for, like, the head ref there, the older gentleman. Like, a couple kids might recognize me because I've done so much content from that field. But it's just all cash. They're just like, oh, we tried Airsoft for the first time. Oh, good. You don't know what KWA is. You don't know what Fight Night is. You don't know who I am. You don't know what fucking Speed QB is. You don't know what any of this shit is. I can just fucking play. This is great. And it's a rinky-dink. It's a small rinky-dink ass field as far as Airsoft concerned. It's nothing special. But I have to drive to Petaluma to have fun in Airsoft. Do you know what that fucking feels like? So that's why I don't play a lot. You're not going to see me at a tournament. I thought about dropping into the syndicate ones, but it's also like is it an hour? Hour-ish on week. Maybe like 45 minutes-ish on a week. No, it would be an hour, because sometimes there's shit traffic on the 5. Anyway, you're not going to see me there. Why? What do I do on weekends? I run a business. I've only been able to step away for a couple hours from the field a couple weeks ago, which that was also kind of technically business related because I was going to a LARP combat group that I'm going to work with. They're going to be at this Ren Fair that I'm planning. So it's technically business related. Dude, I'm telling you, as a guy that's been in the management space for a field since 16, you burn out so fast, it's insane. Like my staff members already are like, how the fuck do you do this? And they've been with me for a year. And some of them are already like, what the? You guys did this as Airsoft Ministry with like 4 of you for free? It's chaos. It's absolute chaos. It sucks. But that's just me talking shit. I have way more fun planning events than playing them. Because I know that no one else can plan like I can. At least in this area. Like, no one... Who the fuck does Milsim Day? Who the fuck in Airsoft? Except for the exception of maybe like the guy that owns Ballahack and Josh Warren. Who has like the mental capacity or the creative abilities to create an Airsoft Milsim Day based on medieval lore that you've created that you kind of stole from your buddy, and then take that, throw it into D&D counters, and as you're writing your D&D encounters, you get ideas that you're going to bring back into your Milsim Day. Bro, that is some ayahuasca shit. What club are you guys going to? There's no good strip clubs around here. Alright, that's done ranting. I hope Syndicate doesn't take offense to that, because I'm not talking shit. I'm just really concerned for what they're doing. Yeah. Oh, so that, that thing coming up at the place in... I'm reading your shit right now, Raven. That thing coming up with that group at Homie's spot in Elk Grove, I can't make it. I'm at DFE that weekend. Because I got super stoked when I saw that. I was like, oh, fuck, that sounds like DFE. Let me look at... Shit! I'm in LA that weekend. What are you considering hosting the next Conquest of Avalon or the previous field? I offered to buy out Overwatch Tactics, but that was before I knew that they kicked him out. My Marty, hey baby. Marty, I can't make that thing you guys are gonna do up here. I'm gonna be in LA, that area, actually, that weekend. I offered to buy Overwatch Tactics, which is the promotion company that hosted Conquest of Avalon, but I didn't know that the venue kicked him out. So the reason that the venue kicked out Overwatch Tactics, specifically their Conquest of Avalon event, was smoke grenades. Because the smoke grenades kept staining structures, and those structures are actually owned by other businesses. Yeah, I'm going to be in DFE. I'm going to DFE. Yeah, ain't that some shit. But I love you guys. I hope this shit works out. I was talking to Jason about it. I'm super stoked for it. It's kind of like getting his ideas and stuff for it. I'm hoping that you guys can stay in NorCal. I like that video you guys did. It's we just got to see what time and money looks like. That's the fucking biggest pain in the ass when you're in the industry. Marty, you know shit. You're smart as fuck, bro. You know how shit is. It's all down to negotiations. I hope I could get CQB up here. I fucking love you guys. And I feel like I owe my community a makeup event too, because like the one that we did was dope, but it didn't even with the run it back. It just anyway. I fucking love you guys. I gotta go run. I gotta handle some business. So slide my DMs if you love me. Bye bye.